Imagine looking at a painting so valuable that a single auction night changes art history forever. That's exactly what happened when Gustav Klimt's stunning portrait of Elizabeth Lederer shattered expectations, selling for an unbelievable $236.4 million. It's now the second most expensive artwork ever sold at auction, and the most expensive modern artwork in history. But this isn't just a story about a high price tag. It's a story filled with drama, war, survival, and the surprising journey of a masterpiece that was nearly lost forever. Tonight, we're diving deep into the life of this painting, the woman behind it, and the auction battle that captivated the world. And trust me, the twists along the way are just as compelling as the sale itself. To understand why this painting created such shockwaves, you need to know who Elizabeth Lederer was. She wasn't just a random muse. She was a young heiress connected to one of Klimt's closest families of patrons, and she sat for this portrait between 1914 and 1916. Klimt captured her draped in a flowing Chinese robe, a symbol of elegance and global influence in early 20th century Vienna. But behind the beauty, this artwork carries scars of history. It was looted by the Nazis, shuffled from hands to hiding places, and nearly destroyed in a fire during World War II. Few paintings can claim to have survived so much turmoil, and that survival is part of what makes this sale so incredible. After the chaos of the war, the painting finally found its way back to the Lederer family in 1948. It was returned to Elizabeth's brother, Erich Lederer, who was closely connected to the artistic circles of Klimt and Egon Schiele. He kept the portrait for most of his life, protecting it through years of uncertainty. It wasn't until 1983, just 2 years before his death, that he finally let it go. And that decision set the stage for the next chapter of the painting's extraordinary life. Its new owner would eventually become a titan, not only of business, but of art collecting. A man whose passion would give the portrait a home, unlike any it had ever known before. In 1985, the painting was acquired by none other than Leonard A. Lauder, heir to the Estée Lauder Cosmetics empire and one of the most influential art collectors of the modern era. For nearly 4 decades, this portrait hung inside his Fifth Avenue home in New York. His longtime art advisor, Emily Braun, revealed that Lauder considered the portrait the crown jewel of his collection. She described how he ate lunch beside it every day, choosing a table positioned right next to the painting so he could admire it constantly. It wasn't just decor to him, it was a companion, a source of daily inspiration, and the emotional centerpiece of his home. Lauder's deep attachment makes the auction even more remarkable. When his collection finally went under the hammer, this Klimt portrait became the star attraction. It was one of only 2 full-length Klimt portraits still in private hands, and collectors around the world knew this might be the last chance to own one. Before the auction began, experts estimated it might reach around $150 million. But as the bidding started, it became clear that this was no ordinary sale. Wealthy collectors, institutions, and anonymous bidders pushed the price higher and higher, determined not to let this once-in-a-generation masterpiece slip away. For 20 intense minutes, 6 bidders battled for ownership. Every new bid sent a ripple of excitement through the room. People whispered, gasped, and exchanged stunned glances as the numbers climbed far beyond expectations. And then, with one final bid, the gavel fell at an astonishing $236.4 million. Sotheby's declined to reveal the identity of the buyer, adding a layer of mystery to the historic night. The Klimt portrait alone accounted for over 40% of the total value of Lauder's collection, which brought in more than $500 million by the end of the evening. The sale didn't just set a new personal record for Klimt at auction, it also dethroned his previous high. In 2023, Klimt's Lady with a Fan sold for $108 million, a number that now seems modest in comparison. And while Klimt's portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer I, famously known as the Woman in Gold, sold privately for $135 million in 2006, it never went to auction, so it doesn't compete with this new milestone. The only artwork to ever surpass this at auction remains Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi, which sold for an unbelievable $450.3 million in 2017. That means Klimt now officially holds the #2 spot in auction history. But the drama of the night didn't stop with Klimt. After wrapping up the Lauder collection, Sotheby's moved on to a modern art auction filled with bold, provocative pieces, none more outrageous than Maurizio Catalan's fully functional, solid gold toilet titled America. Yes, you heard that right. A working toilet made of 18-karat gold, weighing over 100 kilograms. Catalan is the same artist known for taping a banana to a wall and somehow selling it for millions. His golden toilet was expected to spark some chaotic bidding, but surprisingly, it received only one bid, exactly $10 million, the minimum asking price. Catalan actually made 2 of these toilets back in 2016. One of them became infamous after the Guggenheim Museum jokingly offered it to President Donald Trump when he asked to borrow a Van Gogh painting. The other golden toilet took an even stranger path. While on display in England at Blenheim Palace, it was stolen in an overnight heist that made international headlines. 2 men were eventually convicted, but the toilet itself has never been found. Investigators believe it was likely broken apart and melted down, a bizarre, almost poetic fate for an artwork meant to mock wealth and excess. Catalan once said, "Whatever you eat, a $200 lunch or a $2 hot dog, the results are the same, toilet-wise." And in a way, that sums up the entire night at Sotheby's. Staggering wealth, absurd humor, historic art, and the strange ways people assign value. Klimt's portrait of Elizabeth Lederer survived war, theft, near destruction, and decades of secrecy to become one of the most expensive artworks ever sold. Its journey reminds us that art isn't just paint on canvas. It's memory, history, tragedy, and triumph, all woven into one image. And for collectors, museums, and audiences around the world, its sale marks a moment we won't forget anytime soon.